AM 95.3 FM Minute.
And find tools and services available to you.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Are you ready? It is your time to take a few moments from your busy day to unwind, be inspired, and listen to the psychic insights of your host, empowerment psychic, Halley, Elise, a top 100 psychic, speaker, and author. Off air, be sure to connect with Halley at halleyelise.com. And now, the Halley Elise Show.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining in. I have some guests this evening, so if you were planning on calling and getting a reading, sorry, not this evening. I was going to keep the lines open, but I find that when I do that and we have a guest, nobody talks to the guest. And I don't want to be rude. That's like inviting somebody into your home and then answering the door and talking to the person at the door instead of the people at the house. It just doesn't work well. That being said, as you know, I'm all about sharing community. It's not just about spiritual information or things that are holistic, but things that benefit you as an individual. That being said, I have two lovely guests. Out of a foursome, we have two this evening, who started something that is a little different and yet seems to be coming of age. In the world that we live in nowadays, everything is multifaceted. It is not anymore you just go to a shop. You go to a shop and there's also snacks. Or you go to, for instance, a dress store, you like that? Dress store, and somebody offers you a cappuccino. And how would you like your cappuccino? Whereas years ago, it used to be only at that higher end that you would get that type of service. Today, people are more about accommodating each other. And as much as we often speak on everything being electronic and looking at our devices and not paying attention, I believe shop owners, as well as those who want to connect with others, are making more of an effort to make their environments welcoming. And that means not just doing one thing, but again, doing multiple things. That being said, this evening we have the owners, at least 2 out of the 4, from the Garden Bistro. We have the lovely Julia, who's known as Mama, and we have Esther. And they're going to share with you a little bit about the Garden Bistro, which, by the way, is in Plantation, Florida, right across from the Broward Mall. I know they always talk about where it is at the spa, and they'll share with you. But for me to find it, I have to remember, it's right across from the Broward Mall. So in between Broward Boulevard, right off of University Drive, I should say in between Broward and 595 off of University Drive. Really easy to find once you know where you're going. And the reason I go on like this is because it's a hidden gem. You've heard of those hidden gems that nobody knows about or that best kept secret. This is one of those. So without further ado, hi ladies.
Hi.
I'm so glad you can be here this evening.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for having us here.
Absolutely, a lot of fun. Now, I was obviously just saying that you do more than just have a bistro. I have a funny question to ask, though, and I was thinking about this last time I was there. Why is it called Garden Bistro? And I don't mean to be funny, but it's not in the middle of a garden. It's on the other side of a spa, which is lovely. You walk in, it smells amazing, it looks good, the food's outrageous, but I don't see a garden. So share.
It's the owner of Counter Day Spa. They're the one who named this many years ago when they opened about 30-some years ago.
Wow, okay.
And it's been changing the names over and over with when people would come and take over the bistro.
Mm-hmm.
But 4 or 5 years ago, the last person who was running this left, and the owner of the spa who ran this before we came left it as a garden bistro.
So pretty much no matter what your business is, it's now garden in front of bistro.
And we like it.
We're good.
I like it.
I love
It's
the name.
beautiful.
I do. I love the name.
It's beautiful.
And because I mentioned that everybody calls you Mama, I want to go right into sharing with them why it is they call you Mama. Because it's not just because you're a mom, because there's a lot of moms. But it has to do with your cooking, I think, because I know coming to the house, I can always expect 50 dishes instead of 3 for dinner.
To be honestly, I'm not sure. It's just everywhere I work, people just call me like this.
Well, I believe it
That's
has to
why
do.
I don't have any idea. When we started running Mercedes-Benz Bistro, the first day when we came there, which was almost 2 years ago, they just called me mom.
Well,
and that's when
part
from
of it
there.
is the food, but I have to tell you, it's
No,
because
they just call me mama.
No,
That's
hear
it.
me out for a moment. Remember, I'm psychic.
I know you are.
I know that part of it is food, but more important, it is because you nurture. You do. You always want to take care of
yeah.
everybody like a
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
You know, come in, eat, let me look after you, let me remember your name, let me identify what your needs are. It's not just, hey, bud, what do you want?
No, that's true. And they would come and share their problem and share with me what is going on with them, and I would listen, would give them advice. And that's how it's all go. And when we came here now, it's the same thing.
Yes. Okay.
And that's why it's
Esther,
following.
I think you were able to build on that in the sense of wanting to create a community environment. And I think a lot of that, again, has to do with that influence, that upbringing. You've always been around your mom who's always come in. You don't have a place to go, come. You should be here. Let me feed you. Let me look after you. And I know through your own experiences and wanting people to be nicer to each other and kinder to each other, you've taken on something that's unique. You want to share with everyone how you're doing that?
Well, I agree with you. It's hard when your mother is the mom for everybody else, right? And so it's kind of one of those situations where she's so nurturing, so amazing. And when you're the daughter, sometimes you get too much of it. So you kind of want to run away from it, but you can capitalize on it a little bit, right? Because in a good way. And so what I've done is, I've stepped into emotional intelligence, I'm certified in emotional intelligence, and that for me has really helped me so much. I always say I'm 100% crazy, but with EI, I'm at 80%, right? And so it's
I
become
know what the other 20% is.
right. We don't want to go there. We don't want to go there.
If you're 80, 20, okay,
We
another
don't
time.
wanna go. That's a different show, right? But the point is that it's helped me so much that I've become an advocate of emotional intelligence, and I've been doing coaching and really pulling that into
Breathe.
yeah, bringing that into the bistro and everything. So, through building community, after leaving the Holistic Chamber of Commerce and being very successful there and building an amazing community, which is continuing to thrive. And I'm so inspired by the team, and I'm so proud of them, and that they're continuing the legacy and all of that. I realized that it was my time to build something else, and it happened to be my own thing, which is with my parents and with my family. And so that's what's happening, is that we're merging the two, and it's really been a beautiful experience.
Okay, you spoke of emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
I know what that is. Your mom knows what that is. But some of our listeners may be wondering, what is she talking about?
Right.
And I would like to share that we don't think about having emotional intelligence. We think about intelligence as in how our brain functions, and then we're emotional sometimes. But the truth is, we have intellectual intelligence as well as emotional intelligence. Can you share a little bit about how knowing emotional intelligence, how it works in our lives, or how we can tweak it to make it better, actually influences our success?
Well, the best way I can explain it is going to sound really funny, but this is the best way I can explain it, is being able to recognize your own level of crazy and then being able to manage it. Because the truth is, I found through my research and through my work in the past 20 some years is that we are all nuts. We all have a level of crazy,
I'm trying to think of
right?
anybody if I know that isn't.
Right? We all have something.
Yes.
And if we could recognize it and then we could manage it, it could help us tremendously. And so it's helped me tremendously with my family. You know what I mean? It's right now my EQ is growing by the second, you know what I mean? Because I'm dealing with triggers all the time, because you're dealing with family, and even though you love them dearly, they trigger you every second. So, it helps by, there's many things you could do, and I have my own system that I've created.
Of course. But bottom line, for those listening in, it comes down to being able to manage your emotions better, so that you are not as reactive and you are more proactive.
Correct.
And that means not just for yourself, but when you are with others, whether it's family or it's in the community.
Yes.
And learning this is one of the things, one of the many things that you're teaching over at the bistro.
Yes.
And you're having, if I'm not mistaken, groups that come together for networking.
Yes.
And different facilitators coming in.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And on that lines, this Wednesday, if I remember correctly, you've got somebody coming in to do work with Ayurvedic.
Yes.
Okay. Share a little bit about that.
Yeah. So exactly what you're saying. It's called Network Wednesdays with an emotional intelligence twist. EQ for short. Right, exactly. EQ with a twist. And the point of it was, I really wanted to give people a platform where they could come and learn EQ and network at the same time. And so I said, how can I do that? And then bring also traffic to the bistro. And so that's how it all manifested. So then I realized...
I was thinking you wanted to help them emotionally and feed them too.
Right. Exactly. Because that's connected to your emotions also, right?
What do we do when we're sad? We eat. What do we do when we're happy? We eat.
So, which brings us to this week, which is all about emotional eating and the Ayurvedic solution. And so what I wanted to do was I wanted to bring in other speakers, anything that's connected to emotional intelligence. So it could be from a subject of changing a tire, right, to emotional eating with an Ayurvedic solution. Speakers that do pretty much anything that brings up the emotional intelligence.
Got it.
And so this week we're having an Ayurvedic solution. I don't know if
many... I thought you were going to say we're going to have a tire changing class with an Ayurvedic instructor.
We could. That would be pretty
kind of
cool.
Fun, right?
That would be pretty
How
cool.
to change your tire when you're really angry.
Yes, exactly.
Mama first make some food.
Totally.
But back to this.
Yes. So I don't know if any, but a lot of the viewers may know, Ayurvedic is an ancient Indian medical system, and it's really a profound wisdom about nature and humanity and how we
meshing together.
We're meshing together, correct. And so I met this beautiful couple many months ago. They do cacao ceremonies, and they're called Raw Bliss, and they're just such a beautiful couple, and I just love them, and I just said, you know what, we should do something together. And that's how this showed up, is that why don't we do something on emotional eating? And that's how it it all just manifested. And here we are. So they'll be here next Wednesday this Wednesday.
They'll be by you on Wednesday night.
This Wednesday night.
And the bistro is in Plantation. You want to give everyone the address so that they have that?
So the bistro is inside the Contour Day Spa, on the back wall of the Contour Day Spa. So across from the Hampton Inn in Plantation.
May I make a little suggestion? Because sometimes it's confusing when you say on the back wall.
Yeah.
If you're going to the Contour Day Spa, drive around back. You will find the bistro.
Right.
Because I think a lot of people, when you say back wall, they're looking for something specific that's going to guide them to the back wall.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because when I walk around there, like I agree with you, I walk around that area just to see how to describe it best. And honestly, the only way I could figure out was the back wall. Because now we have our own banner there. We also have a Starbucks sign.
Yes, so they can find you there.
And there's picnic tables right outside. So it just looks like a
very
garden.
Cute. And actually, I was going to say, as much as I was teasing out back, it's kind of like a garden environment.
Yes.
We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back from the folks from Garden Bistro. Thank you. This is your empowerment psychic, Halley Elise, one of the top 100 psychics in America. For over 30 years, I have offered psychic readings, programs, spiritual guidance, and other life skill techniques. As our lives have become more complicated, we often reach for answers. Who are we? Where are we headed? Are we pointed in the right direction? In addition, we often are concerned for our loved ones. I have helped thousands of people navigate their life circumstances through different modalities of spiritual and intuitive guidance. Call me at 561-755-2166 and allow me to further explain
how I may assist you in clearing the path of yesterday so today and tomorrow will be a success. Call me at 561-755-2166 or visit my site, HalleyElise.com. That's HalleyElise.com.
You have been listening to empowerment psychic Halley Elise, a top 100 psychic. She is your connection to all things spiritual, psychic, and empowering. Your guide to peace and wisdom. For a private appointment off air, call 561-755-2166. Now, back to the Halley Elise Show with empowerment psychic Halley Elise.
Welcome back, everyone. If you are just tuning in, we're having a lot of fun tonight at this station. I have half of the folks from the Garden Bistro. We have Mama and we have one of the daughters. The other daughter and Papa, I guess they had to stay back at the bistro and cook and do what they needed to do. So you'll have to go to the bistro. This way you can meet them. Give out the address again, please.
So it's 455 Southwest 78th Avenue, Plantation, Florida, 33324. And remember, the entrance is on the back wall of the Contour Day Spa. And you look for the Starbucks sign.
And you can't miss it.
Can't
it's
miss
pretty
it.
big. You're like, oh, I'll have a coffee too, or a cappuccino, or a latte. It's all there. But outside of the coffees, really and truly, the premise at your place is healthier foods. And I know that you've been working with air fryers, and that means things that would be decadent and really fattening can still be decadent but not fattening because you're preparing them in the air fryer. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah. Ma, you want to go?
Yeah, it's basically it's guilt free because everything we do there it's an air fryer then fries without oil. It's not gram of oil added.
You don't even have to use a little tiny drop?
None.
That's amazing.
None at all.
That's amazing.
Because when you use the air fryer, even let's say I do the French fries, after it's already done, you can see how much oil it's actually come from the from the French fries or from chicken wings.
Yes.
And we do delicious. It's not vegan. I cannot say it's vegan.
We could say vegan style in the same way.
It's quinoa burgers.
Right. I was just thinking the same way you could say kosher style or a particular type. You're leaning in that direction, even though you're not specifically vegan.
But the reason for us, since we've been using this almost year and a half now, people love it because they feel better. Because first of all, if you take a fried food from anywhere, from restaurant, the most expensive restaurant, or from
take it home,
fast
it's
food,
got icky stuff.
right, and you cannot eat it when it's going to be cold.
True.
You have to throw away.
True, it's not
Here,
the same.
even if it's cold, you still taste and it's delicious.
Wonderful.
And you enjoying. For this reason, you know what? That's what we're heading for. We're going for healthy food, and it's healthy because you eat and you enjoy. And we have a lot.
You're not limited though to air fried foods. You also make all sorts of things.
We have everything. We
You've
have
got
for
salads,
everybody.
and I know that you cook certain foods. You got a great kitchen there, and there's fruit. And if somebody needs to get in quick and get something, they can do that. By the same token, if they want to sit and have a leisurely meal, they can do that as well.
Right. We also have a beer and wine. Then they can
I
enjoy.
didn't realize that last time I was there.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to have to go back and have some beer and wine.
we have a Starbucks. It's not fully Starbucks, but it's some.
Right. You're not necessarily doing every single macchiato that can stand on its head and spin.
Right.
But you do have a nice
We have yummy ones. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. For this reason, and we can. We are doing gluten-free foods for accommodate everybody, and we do a lot of different
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you don't have the typical website yet,
Right.
or you may not, because I know you're working with a V card, but also because there are so many people connected on Facebook, you have a Facebook presence.
Yes.
So on Facebook, how would they find you?
So 2 ways. They can either go to Garden Bistro, and we have our calendar events and also the affiliate program if you ever want to get an air fryer for yourself.
Oh, yeah, we can talk a little bit
Yes.
about that too.
So you can go to Facebook and look under Garden Bistro, and you'll find under our story, there's a calendar of events, so you're aware of what's going on at the bistro. Also, you can look me up on Facebook under Ala Esther Levy. And then you can also do the V card. Would you like me to share that, or?
Yeah, go ahead and share that quickly.
So
This way everybody has an idea.
alaesterlevy.vcardinfo.com. So alaesterlevy.vcardinfo.com.
And you're going, wait, Ala, how do I spell that? It's
Right.
A-H, it's A-L-L-A. Just so that it makes it clear.
Yeah.
And it's actually on the screen now. If you are not just listening on the radio in the car, you can actually find it on the screen at Facebook. And of course, if you go later, wait, I didn't catch any of that, just get in touch with me. I'll be happy to forward you the info.
Yes.
Now, we talked a little bit about the idea of community and bringing people together, and it's really lovely as far as having a place that you can do all this. But I know that this is your mom's dream. She had wanted to have a coffee house, something where she could share with people that, they would meet and greet and enjoy each other. How do you feel about actually having that? Because I know you don't even eat at home anymore. I mean, they eat there. They don't even go home.
That is so funny that you just said that.
But it's true.
Because today she actually bought a bunch of food for us.
Yes.
And said, this food is to stay home so you guys can have some food. And I was like, wow, thanks, Mom. I really appreciate that.
Instead of going
so that's so funny
to
that you just
restaurant.
said that. Yeah. She
pretty
finally
funny,
bought
right?
us some food.
That's why
Awesome.
she's psychic.
Yeah, it's a good thing the dog and the cat don't eat regular food.
Right.
They would starve.
Exactly.
Okay, now we know that this Wednesday you have the Ayurvedic and your emotional intelligence programs. You do that on a weekly basis, or do you incorporate that into your networking that you do on a weekly basis? How does that work?
So Network Wednesdays with an EQ twist, that is it's the second and fourth Wednesday of the month.
Okay.
And again, the calendar is either on my V card or on the Facebook page. And I do a little bit of EQ at the beginning just to share with people what it is and what we're doing with that. Now we can grow a community of like-minded people and all of that. And then we have a speaker. So there's plenty of time for people to network. There's plenty of time for people to share their businesses.
Are these events? Are they an hour and a half, 2 hours?
6:30 to 8:30.
I thought you were going to say 6:30 to midnight.
Yeah, no. I want out of the bistro. I need a break, okay?
So 6:30 to 8:30.
Yeah, ish.
And do you serve food, or do folks come in and order food separately? How does that work when they come in?
So they come in a little bit early if they want, or they come in at 6:30. They place their order, they eat, and then we do our thing. So,
Perfect.
Yeah.
And if someone, let's say, says, well, I have this wonderful thing that I'd like to share, do you automatically just take anybody, or do you kind of investigate what they do and find out if they're on par with your philosophy?
So, I'm a very intuitive person, and so I can pretty much sense if who I'm speaking to is going to be in alignment with what we're creating at the bistro and with Network Wednesdays. So, sometimes it works like that, but most of the time not, because I really want them to come and experience who we are, what we're doing.
Understand.
So I'd like them to come and check us out, and then we see where we can go from there.
Okay, so to clarify, somebody who's interested in having a program with you, you would prefer to meet them beforehand versus just get a phone call like, hi, listen, I have this great thing and I want to come.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. We have to meet, we talk.
I'm just making sure it's not a banquet hall, and it's a matter of being able to interact and, again, know that you're in alignment with what everybody wants.
Absolutely.
Now, I want to know, does your husband ever get to do anything other than be stuck in the kitchen doing dishes? Because last time I was there, he was out for a little while and then he was in the kitchen again.
It's totally up to him. He can do whatever he likes.
I'm teasing, you know that.
Whatever he likes. Well, everybody there, they can do whatever they like.
I can, if I can, right?
Absolutely.
I can. When we were designing the structure for the bistro, and when I entered into that experience, I said, okay, we need to create roles here, right? And so Papa became the PR person. His job is to connect with the customers.
Perfect.
Is to really talk to the
And
community.
he loves that. He loves to
it,
socialize
he's
and
great at
interact.
it.
So it works
Yes.
out very well.
Yes.
All right. So one more time so that you remember. This is the Garden Bistro that's got the somewhat garden outside, and I'm teasing, but it really is adorable when you walk inside as well as outside just around the entry. And it always smells amazing. They have this wonderful scent that just makes you feel like you want to go, I'm going to just sit down and stay for a while, whether you're in a rush or not. Oh, and we left out that also there are some beautiful fineries there. There's some clothing. So remember what I was saying earlier, that everybody is kind of multifaceted, doing many things to lure you in. Not only is there good food, healthy food, community, connection, the opportunity to squell any sort of chaoticness in your life, but there is beautiful things as well.
Absolutely.
I am so grateful that you could be here this evening.
Thank you so much.
So
Thank you,
much.
Halley,
And
for having us.
very quickly, the V card address again, so everybody who might catch it can.
So alaesterlevy.vcardinfo.com.
Perfect. You have any last words?
No, thank you. And I hope everybody
Comes running, right?
Now running?
Well, we can
come and
share our tagline. Can we share our tagline?
Yes, we have
Okay.
2 seconds.
Feeding you,
Feeding
our
you, feeding our soul.
Yes,
Feeding you feeds our
them
soul.
feeds your soul, and
exactly.
it feeds your soul too. So definitely check out the Garden Bistro. If you need any assistance with locating them, just give a holler. Thanks so much for tuning in this evening. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm going to come visit again soon.
All right.
Have a great night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Remember to tune in every Tuesday on WNN at 9 p.m. for more peace, inspiration, and psychic phenomena with empowerment psychic Halley Elise, Top 100 Psychic. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors.